Hello everyone, welcome back to your model answer writing session. So we are going with our answer writing series. In morning, we saw a question which was associated with your agriculture and rural development, and the question was, what was the question, guys? The question was, we discussed about this particular question. This question which we are talking about was, what is crossbreeding? Explain the types and state advantages and disadvantages of crossbreeding for 15 marks, and we have to write it in 600 words. So three parts were there. What crossbreeding is, what are its types, what are advantages and disadvantages. 15 marker question was there. Let's try to look at the solution of the particular question. Before that, let me just once check the audio and video is clear or not. Once it is clear, we are good to go. Okay, I hope that the question is clear for everybody. Today, it's a very disappointment which I have faced, that is only two students have submitted their answer. I want to ask, and please mention in the comment section also, that was the question difficult. I've taken the same question from the past year, but the question seems to be very technical. That is why this question was asked. But still, what I've seen is that many of the students have not answered it. So only two students have submitted the answer, and that's why we will just try to review their answers. Before that, let us go through the model answer for this particular question. The question which I am talking about, as I described to you, there were three parts in the question. First was talking about, please explain us what is cross breeding. Second was talking about, okay, then what are the types of crossbreeding, and then the third part was talking about that what are the advantages and disadvantages. Three parts were there. The most of important keyword, topic or theme was associated with crossbreeding only, related to its types, then its advantage, disadvantage. And even when we are talking about the directives, these were simple straightforward directives like state, what, etc. Let us try to look at this particular question and break it down further. So our question starts with what is crossbreeding. So here the definition is very simple. See, no any technical definition, simple definition. Crossbreeding is also known as hybridization. It is a method used in agriculture and animal husbandry to create offsprings by mating individuals from different breeds. It's very simple. When two breeds, different breeds, are mated together, their strains or species are mated together, okay, this gives us a unique breed which has characteristics and features and genetic character of two parents. That is called as crossbreeding. An extra part has been also added. This is nothing but this practice. Why crossbreeding is generally done? So give little bit background. So that is, crossbreeding generally is done if the two varieties are there, two hybrids are there, two genetic makeup animals are there, two different breeds are there. They will have their different characteristics. For example, if two cattle are there, one buffalo is there and one cow is there. Cow gives excellent milk and the buffalo is strong enough. It is used for agricultural rugged activities. If we take these two breeds, and buffalo is of different, the cattle which we are talking about male, that is of different breed, bullock, and the cow which we are talking about, that is of different breed. If these two breeds are brought together and mated together, then the characters, the genetic makeup, the physical appearance of both these, as it is different, will be brought into the young ones. So the young cattle which will take birth, it will have the desirable traits of both. Now these traits could be either yield is nothing but how much productivity in terms of meat, in terms of milk, in terms of physical activity, what disease resistance this particular cattle has, what is the growth rate, in how much months it is growing, what is the overall vigor is nothing but its overall uh, potential, overall potential to be productive. By combining the genetic material, which is completely different for two breeds, we bring two different organisms, and crossbreed tries to produce a hybrid or mix of those two characters and exhibit the characters which are superior than the parent to animals. So therefore, this phenomena is called as hybrid vigor or heterosis. Heterosis always gives us either superior quality of genetic material and characters, and second is diversity as well as variation in genetic makeup. This is the main positive about hybrid vigor or heterosis. We understand now, we have the background also, we understand what is crossbreeding, why it is done, and overall when the characters are uh, uh, transferred from parents to the young ones, and that young one is a of superior quality, automatically we understand that it is heterosis. Next, we come to types of crossbreeding. Types of crossbreeding. First is interspecific crossbreeding. What do you mean by interspecific crossbreeding? Simple. The definition is nothing but when breeding of individuals is done within same species but different breeds or strains. Intraspecific. Intra means what? Intra means inside. Inter means what? Between two. So intraspecific crossbreeding is nothing but when species is same. So there is no change between species. If cattle is there, then cattle is only there. If goat is there, goat is only there. And that also, if cattle we are talking about, then Sahiwal cattle is only there. We are not bringing Montego Giri. We are not bringing your Kankraj. We are not bringing your uh, even your Ombelecheri. We are not bringing different cattle here. Only one cattle, and that also of one breed. So here breed is, here species is same, and here when we are talking about breeds could be different, but species is same. So when we are talking about cattle, cattle is only there. But yes, different breeds which we can bring. Then example here, crossbreeding between the cattle such as Angus and Hereford. The best example you can take is Sahiwal and your Jersey. These two are crossed together. So intra-specific is nothing but between the same species but between two breeds, two different breeds. Case study when we are talking about, yes, American Angus Association too has actually done an experiment in which crossbreeding of cows actually have resulted into average weight gain of 20% as compared to pure breed. So it is having more genetic makeup than pure breeds. So yes. So once you understand this, intraspecific is nothing but, yes, between same species, but breeds are different. Okay. Now let us come to interspecific. Interspecific, when we are talking about it, involves breeding of the individual between different species, as I told you. Intra is within the species. Interspecific is nothing but between two species. For example, I will give you best example. Suppose a female horse is there. If that female horse is mated with a male donkey, then what do you get? You get mule, खच्चर, जिसको खच्चर कहते हैं. So this mule which we are talking about, this is a good example of interspecific crossbreeding, where specific is nothing but your species. Between two species, different species, mating is done. Interspecific. Intra is nothing within a species, but different breeds are there, or same breed also can be there. Controlled crossbreeding is the third type. It is nothing but where the crossbreeding between two breeds, the crossing is done in a controlled condition. Here, artificial insemination also could be used. Generally, controlled crossbreeding is majorly used in your egg production and meat production in poultry. Okay, so best example is controlled crossbreeding is poultry, and especially in your cage systems. Now, second part of the question also has been addressed. What was that? The types of the crossbreeding: intraspecific, interspecific, and controlled crossbreeding. Now, advantages. The first advantage we will talk about is which we actually talked about in conclusion, in introduction. What in introduction we talked about? Hybrid vigor and heterosis, which is responsible for improving the overall vigor of the successive young population or the new young born. So crossbreeding often results into strong, more resilient as well as productive genes and characters as compared to their parents. This can also lead to higher growth rates and improved reproductive performance and growth too. Hybrid corn varieties also you will see, because when such breeding is done in plants, so crossbreeding of the plants when is done at laboratory scale or at an off-field at an off-field experimentation, you will see that such hybridization or such heterogenesis results into 15 to 20% increase in the yields of the crops. The same crop yields when you are looking at, you can take an example of or a case study of green revolution also. Second is enhanced disease resistance. So it's very simple that various diseases which are there, just take an example of the crossbreeding between two cattles. So cattles we are talking about, foot and mouth disease is there. Okay, after foot and mouth disease, even your brucellosis is there. So suppose two cattle are mated of which one cattle is resilient to these diseases like foot and mouth and brucellosis, automatically the young one who will take birth, he will also have that character that he will show the immunity as well as resistance to such diseases. So in this way, crossbreeding gives a higher chance of evading and enhancing disease resistance, evading diseases and the various other disorders also, and enhancing disease resistance. Improved adaptability. Crossbreeding, when we are talking about it, can result in the traits which will enable organisms to thrive in various environmental conditions. So, when two breeds are brought together and when those are crossbred with each other, the new young one which is born, it also adapts itself according to the climate and it absorbs all the characteristics which are essential for its survival. It is nothing but similar to the genetic make the overall genetic survivability which allows adaptations in the living beings. Naturally also it happens. This also could be supported uh, by the biological term genetic selection or natural selection. The natural selection is nothing but the one organism which will adapt, that will survive, survival of the fittest. Economic benefits is nothing but as these young animals which take birth, these are of higher yields, they reduce losses from diseases, and adverse conditions are also there which leads into increased profitability. Examples here would be, here your Jersey hybrids or Jersey crossbreed cows, whatever are there, they always increase the milk production by approximately 25% in the dairy business in United States of America. Now let us talk about we talked about positives, let us talk about disadvantages of the crossbreeding. First thing is genetic uncertainty. Always remember that the crossbreed, whichever the young animal is there, it takes the characters from both the parents, but there is no any guarantee and there is actual unpredictability that how much variability will be there, which characters that animal is going to take from the parents, which is the overall genetic makeup that animal will be made up of, that nobody cannot nobody can predict. So this results into variability of traits and performances. Sometimes even the young offspring may not have all the desired characters and expectations which you wanted. So the example here best would be that crossbreed animals also sometimes they inherit inherit undesirable traits, and these traits would be from either of the parents. So this may result into wastage of the overall crossbreeding process. Second is cost and complexity. Overall, if you look at the operational cost as well as the uh, the veterinary care and cost which comes along with the artificial insemination, the overall complexity also of this process and cost also increases. In livestock sector, wherever artificial insemination is there and such crossbreeding techniques are there, you will see that the overall cost shoots up by 30%. Dependency of hybrid seeds. The best example of crossbreeding could be considered when we consider genetically modified seeds. Hybrid plants are not able to produce viable seeds. This results farmers' dependency on the seeds on various companies and international organizations, because if they don't get seeds, how they are going to do the plantation for the next season? So this is how, even though hybrid cattle or hybrid crops or hybrid animals we can produce, but it also we have to keep a check on the viability of these particular young ones which are born. For example, hybrid vegetables, if you see, those are not having seeds only. Take best example, earlier grapes used to have seeds, but today they don't have seeds. So if fruits are not having seeds only, how you are going to plant them and how new tree is going to be produced? Don't you think so? So this definitely should come into your mind. And lastly, biodiversity loss also. Always remember that indigenous varieties, local varieties are also very important. So after hybridization, after your crossbreeding techniques, today Jersey cows are also available in India. But the old varieties of India, you can take example of Umbelecheri, you can take example of even your uh, various other old indigenous cattles, old indigenous buffaloes, old indigenous goats, and your even sheeps. These are today invisible, or maybe these have disappeared into thin air. Now why this has happened is because everybody wants to earn profit. So rather than buying the indigenous cow, such as uh, your Umbalicheri, such as your Kankrij, such as your Red Sindhi, I will prefer Jersey cow or a hybrid cow between Sahiwal and Jersey. Why? Because it gives more milk and I will get more money. So therefore, these old varieties, whichever are there, these are definitely lost. Okay. So FAO also has warned this loss of agricultural biodiversity. You can take best example of the old rice varieties which were there in India. Today, these rice varieties have become exterminated because farmers are more dependent on hybrid and high grain producing varieties which are readily available, such as Monsanto provides rice grains, Monsanto provides various GM crops. So this is how your old varieties get disappeared into thin air. Lastly, conclusion, crossbreeding is a powerful tool for animal husbandry and agriculture. It gives various advantages also. Hybrid vigor, enhanced disease resistance is there. Overall genetic makeup is enhanced. But at the same time, genetic uncertainty is also there and potential biodiversity loss is there. So therefore, along with crossbreeding, as much as crossbreeding high level technique is required, at the same time, the culturing of indigenous varieties also have to be done. Our intention should not be profiteering an anthropological mindset of just reaping the benefits out of the animal, out of the livestock, but rather creating the breeds which are sustainable and at the same time which are from diverse breeds and species. This will not only improve the overall genetic makeup of the livestock, but it will also help us for utilizing these cattle, these domestic animals for various other purposes. Remember that complexity of crossbreedings are there, but at the same time, if informed decisions are made, if the crossing is done between indigenous cows and your exotic cows, that is between Jersey or maybe your indigenous cattle, then definitely it can bring more varieties and it will also give chance that the genetic makeup of the indigenous cows are not lost, cattle are not lost. In this way, you can write a futuristic answer. Now, after explaining the answer to you, discuss the let us discuss the overall submissions which we have got. So the first answer which was submitted was by Jagdish, and out of 15 marks, he has only got 8.5 marks. Even 8.5 also marks, I will say, these are okay. So Jagdish's answer, when you are looking at, he has written an introduction like this. Crossbreeding is the practice of mating animals of different well-established breeds. Very good, very simple introduction. In one line only he was able to define. Claps from my side. It is a type of outbreeding where superior males of one breed are mated with the superior females of another breed. Very beautiful. Example, Hisardale is a new breed of sheep developed in Punjab by crossing Merino rams and Bikaneri ewes. Very beautiful. Introduction, out of marks for introduction. Types of crossbreeding. Single two-way cross or single cross. Okay, the first one is nothing but single cross breeding, where you will see that two breeds are crossed with each other to produce the F1. Okay, that is the young ones, and which is useful for the production and not for the breeding. So Sahiwal and Brown Swiss gives rise to current Swiss. Here example also he has given. Very beautiful. Second, three-way cross, in which here A, B are crossed, then whatever young one is there, it is crossed with C. So fully Triveni is obtained by crossing Holstein Friesian, Jersey and Greer breeds. Good example, very beautiful point. Then four-way cross also he has mentioned. Then this is the third one. He has also mentioned the fourth type, that is systematic cross, that is back cross, crisscross also. Then he has also mentioned fifth point, that is three-way rotational cross, and this is the five types he has mentioned. Now in our model answer we only mentioned three. Now that is also fine. He is broadly giving the classification. We have given the classification in generic way. Why? Word limit. Okay, so whatever content you can choose, you have to be in the word limit. Now advantages he is talking about. Advantages he has given only four advantages, whereas we had given six advantages at least. So in this way, his first part, the types of the crossbreeding, that point is fantastically written. Advantages: hybrid vigor, improved adaptability, increased productivity, and crossbreed animals are having enhanced fertility and reproduction performance. Okay, fine, this is good. but still what I feel is heading should have 2 to 3 points and a proper structure had been written. But again, I understand that it has been written in a Google form, then improvements could be done. Next, loss. Now comes the disadvantages. The disadvantages: loss of breed purity. Second is, that is, purity is lost when hybridization is there, pure breeds are lost definitely. Second, unpredictability, which we already talked in our answer also. Management complexity, yes, he also talked about it, but the heading is different. And then incompatible issues, where here animals of different breeds may not be compatible with each other in terms of reproductive capacity, temperament, size, etc. One fits for all approach will not work. Definitely good. Conclusion: when we are talking about, on a whole, the crossbreeding is a in livestock is valuable, important for improving productivity, adaptability, and overall animal health. Advantages and disadvantages are also there, but here it can help farmers to optimize herds and achieve better long-term productivity and sustainability in livestock operation. So the answer is very beautifully written. Here, after looking at the examples which he has added, let us give him 9 marks. Okay. So today he is the topper here, guys. He has got 9 marks. Now comes the next answer, which has been submitted by Rashmita Pradhan. Okay. Now the problem here is that, see, her examples are also good. She has given example of a dog here, and she's trying to explain, and this is the first time I think she's writing an answer. But my point here is that when she's writing the answer, the structure is not proper. Also, I will definitely argue with the content, the compartmentalization structure, and the division, proper division and balance in the answer is not there. Here three parts are there, the answer also should be properly divided in three parts. I cannot see that. So the first introduction is also very generic. Then she's talking about crossbreeding and two primary reasons related to crossbreeding. She has not mentioned specifically the types of crossbreeding, and directly she is jumping on the advantages and disadvantages. And lastly, she is concluding. Overall, I felt that there is a lack of content, lack of structuring. I will give 6 marks to this answer, but I personally feel that overall she was trying, I think, her first answer. So let us give her a leeway. With this, I think we have almost done our discussion. Personally feel that overall she was trying. Okay, so my input to all of you would be, just a minute, yes, my input to all of you would be, this is the answer here. Try to go through all of these answers, okay, and make sure that you write the answer in this way. Look at my structure, guys. Look at the introduction, then look at the first part, types of crossbreeding, then look at this first point, three sub points. Each sub point is having a supporting point. Example is there, case study is there, data is there wherever required. See your data. So in this way, try to write an answer. Examiner will be impressed by you. Proper conclusion is there. Okay. So with this, we end our session. Thank you very much and see you next time. I was today really disappointed from you guys because only two people have submitted their answers. Even the question is very easy. What if I would have given a question that describe what is artificial insemination and what are advantages and disadvantages of artificial insemination? Also mention a specific artificial insemination programs in the various states of India as well as at national level. What if I would have given this question? It was so difficult, right? So that is why I'm telling you, please take the question and answer and this answer writing series very seriously. Try to submit your answers. Thank you very much and